So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, broadcast and recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and American League baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Friday Night Lights is TV's feel-good story. Every time it gets renewed for another season, that is. Season 3, which debuts tonight on NBC, actually bowed last fall on DirecTV, which saved it at the last minute from cancellation a year ago. The show has a loyal but smallish fan base, and critics, of course, love it. That's all great, but what does any of this mean for the character of Landry Clark and the actor who plays him, Jesse Plemons? Let's find out. Jesse, welcome to Mr. Media.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm just thinking it must be somewhat frustrating to reach spring each of the last couple of years and not quite know if your job will be continued.
That is extremely frustrating. It's a weird part of television that I don't think you can ever really get used to, especially if you love your job as much as I do. And luckily we've kind of scraped by every season, and it looks like people are finally catching on. So
I'm thinking it must really drive your agent nuts too.
It's hard to plan because you don't really, you just have no idea what's coming. But
well, for people who did not see the third season on DirecTV, bring us up to date on where we left off with Landry at the end of season 2.
Well, I guess I'll start at the beginning of season 2 because
okay.
there was a few things that happened. Basically, he had kind of started a relationship with Tyra, who is kind of the girl of his dreams. They weren't dating, and she had a stalker that showed up at the end of season 1, and there was kind of a big fight. He comes back. Landry tries to defend her and accidentally kills the stalker. And so for most of season 2, there was, them trying to cover this up, and then Landry finally confesses, and then him and Tyra, out of this, kind of develop this relationship. Landry ends up getting off, and at the end of season 2, we leave their relationship, and they're a couple, and then we skip ahead 8 months to season 3, and they are now kind of trying to figure out exactly where they are again. So a lot of stuff happens. Sorry for the long explanation, but that...
No, it's good. It's good. And Jesse, the thing that's amazing to me is when I was in high school, the exact same thing happened to me. My girlfriend had a stalker. I killed him. We went through some stuff.
It doesn't surprise me. People tell me that all the time. Yeah.
Oh, man. It's good to know that 30-some years later, things in high school haven't changed that much.
I know. Could be relate, man. I'm happy.
And so... All right, so you've given us a little hint. Can you give us a little idea of what happens to Landry in season 3? Some things to look for?
Yeah, like I said, he's still absolutely head over heels for Tyra, and she's one of those girls that's kind of hard to tie down, and she ends up meeting this cowboy. His name is Cash, and that kind of proves to be a threat for Landry, and then Landry puts all of his heartache into his music. He brings the band back up, but kind of goes in a new direction, and starts writing some really bad power ballads at first, and then they kind of slowly get better. And then, towards the end of the season, we kind of see what happens with them. So.
Would you like the show to continue? I mean, you've got other things going on, but would you like to see it continue?
I would 100%. It's a show that I don't really think I could have mapped it out any better for myself. I've been acting since I was pretty young, and tons of auditions, and I was so bummed that I didn't get some of them, but I wouldn't change a thing. I'm from Texas, so it's a show that I can relate to. I'm close to home. It's an unbelievable cast, unbelievable crew, and we've got unbelievable fans. So I'd love to keep going.
I imagine it's interesting for you when you're out that there's probably this chunk of people that you run into. It's like, oh my God, it's Landry, you know, and then there's these other people who are like, what are you talking about? Because of the nature of the.
And it's almost even within groups of friends, you know. There's like one person freaking out and one person like, whoa, calm down. So it is interesting, but it does seem like more and more people are catching on, which is great. Hopefully that's a sign for the season.
Now, has it ever happened that you've been confused for one of the twins on Desperate Housewives?
No. Do I resemble one of the twins?
Yeah, actually, I thought you did. I've always found that kind of interesting. This year, that show has switched. They moved ahead 5 years, and so they aged these two twin boys. And
okay, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting. I thought maybe we'd find out that you guys were related. Maybe they were triplets or something.
Triplets.
But that hasn't happened, obviously.
No.
In the time we have remaining, I want to ask you about something else you worked on. I guess this past year, you have a role in the new Seth Rogen movie, Observe and Report.
I do. I filmed that in Albuquerque this last summer, and it really did not seem like a job. It did not seem like something I should be getting paid for. It was just 2 months of cracking up and laughing at Seth Rogen for the most part. So it was a blast. But yeah, it comes out in April. It's Seth Rogen, Ray Liotta. Seth plays a mall security guard, and Ray Liotta plays an actual cop who kind of is the bad guy in the movie. And I play Seth Rogen's young apprentice who is trying to learn the ways of the mall security guard.
God, so, it sounds like a funny movie.
It was a blast. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that should be very cool. And congratulations on landing that. Obviously, fans will see more of you in April.
Yeah.
Well, folks, you can catch Friday Night Lights every Friday night at 9 p.m. on NBC. You can also catch up on the episodes you've missed at www.nbc.com. And, Jesse, thank you so much for joining us on Mr. Media today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. And, folks, for more great TV star interviews, surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with the stars of Chuck, Worst Week, Psych, Curb Your Enthusiasm, The Starter Wife, Knight Rider, My Name is Earl, and many more. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, Pointer Online, Digital Journal, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Folio, Mediafly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencast, or Odeo. And subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman, ANDELMAN.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thanks so much. Sorry, folks. Thanks so much for joining us today. I always appreciate when you give up a piece of your day to spend it with us. Come on back real soon.